Among the city's outspoken right-wing elite is a 50-year-old Bavarian poet and dramatist called Dietrich Eckart.
Dietrich Eckart is not a figure that many people would associate with the Nazi movement today, but he is in fact one of the most important figures within it, and it's him who arguably sets in motion the whole political force.
Eckart is well known to be a heavy drinker, but having made his name and fortune as a playwright before the war, he's also wealthy and well-connected.
He's a cultured individual, he's a well-known poet, he's able to articulate his views reasonably well.
But those views are of the extreme far right. And in keeping with the times, his paper, Auf gut Deutsch, or In Good German, is a rabidly racist Jew-baiting sheet. Eckart also has connections with a secretive right-wing occultist group known as the Tula Society.
The Tool Society was a really out-there group of people. One of the things they believed in was Atlantis. There was a race of people called the Aryans who were almost superhuman in beauty and strength, all came from Atlantis.
It's based on the notion that the Aryan or Teutonic peoples were the great force, great civilizing force through history, and they'd become Germanic. The German people, the Aryan Teutonic people, were the best because that's how fate, providence, nature had intended them.
As bizarre as their beliefs seem, in the shattered German psyche, the notion of a once glorious past offers a compelling escape from the reality of humiliation.
It's important in giving some shape to the Germans, some sense of their own historic identity. Germany as a state is only 40 years old. What bound them together was this strong sense that they wanted to discover the roots of Germandom. What did it mean to be German?
But there's a dark side to the Tula Society myth. They believe the superhuman Aryans had been weakened by interbreeding with inferior and morally corrupt races. Now these inferior races are in control, and the chaos Eckart sees in Germany is the result.
It's the scapegoat notion. What he's discovered, he claims, is that there is a worldwide conspiracy.
Eckart fervently believes that the enemies of Aryan Germany are the Bolsheviks, the communists, and most of all, the Jews.
The Jewish race is concerned to destroy all other cultures from within, by infiltration, corrupting the body from within, the bacillus within.
There was not one shred of evidence for any of this, but it became a cornerstone for one of the most powerful movements in history.
Eckart wants to hit back at these enemies within. But to succeed, he must get his message beyond the elite and out to the masses. He needs to reach the disaffected working classes. In early 1919, Eckart and Tula Society occultists launch their plan to spread their right-wing message. They form a fledgling political group, the German Workers' Party. It's just one of many small factions that spring up and meet in the beer halls and cellars of Munich.
Throughout the 1920s, these beer halls are sort of microcosms of political agitation.
The early party is nothing special, it's not unique. At the time, it's just one of those particularly noxious, vile, febrile, anti-Semitic little groups. And normally they shout very loud and no one takes them particularly seriously.
But Germany's humiliation is far from over. And soon a further downturn in Germany's fortunes will ensure Eckart's lunatic Aryan ideas find fresh ears. But to do that, he needs a man who can speak directly to the people, an inspirational leader.
The word Messiah is one that Eckart uses more than once in his writings. He had the notion of a regenerated Germany, but how was that to be achieved? We need a Messiah.
Traditionally, leaders had been people with a pedigree, but at the time there was this kind of common longing for a totally new kind of political leader who could not be someone who was an established figure.
Eckart writes this very notorious poem in 1918 in which he describes this figure called the Nameless One or the Great One, who is a common German soldier with blazing fiery eyes who will come and save the German people.
In the autumn of 1919, at a German Workers' Party meeting, a spy lurks in the crowd. He's been sent by the German army to report on proceedings. But the young man finds the anti-communist and anti-Semitic opinions chiming strongly with his own.
He finds that rather than spying on them, that actually they're speaking a language that he understands.
Inspired, he stops taking notes and starts addressing the crowd.
He realizes immediately that his voice is compelling. The hall falls silent.
He stands up and speaks, and everyone's incredibly impressed by this man who's speaking with such passion and venom as well.
His name is Adolf Hitler. Eckart is transfixed.
He actually jumps onto tables and gives these fantastically fiery pieces of oratory. And very, very quickly, Eckart realizes that this is the man. He is the man who is going to lead them forward.
In Hitler, Eckart sees the man to take his message to the people, to spread the Aryan ideals beyond the metropolitan elite, perhaps even inspire a nation. And these two men, though more than 20 years apart in age, become close.
The relationship is fascinating. Pupil and teacher, if you like, father and son. There's a common brotherly feeling between them.
With Hitler now installed as the party's head of propaganda, the two men get to work refining the theories and beliefs of the movement. Together, they are a formidable team.
Hitler and Eckart complemented each other perfectly. Although Eckart was in no way a decent public speaker, he was a very good writer, a very good theoretician, and Hitler, meanwhile, his thoughts were very rambling and he couldn't really write very well. So actually, what Eckart could do was to take Hitler's words, polish them, order them, serve them back to him, and then Hitler could then speak them and deliver them in this fantastically powerful oratorical fashion that would woo audiences. It worked brilliantly.
The Nazis pledged to take back the lands stolen by the Treaty of Versailles and put an end to the crippling payments demanded by the Allies.
The genius of this is that they're very simple, they're very easy to remember, and therefore they draw a lot of political water.
Eckart gives them their rallying cry, Deutschland erwache, Germany awake. And the party also gets a new emblem believed by Tula Society mystics to be of ancient Aryan origin, the swastika. And the movement is rebranded as the National Socialist Workers' Party. The Nazi Party is born. But Dietrich Eckart won't live to see the rise of the Third Reich. Just 6 weeks after the failed coup, he lies dying. Years of alcohol abuse have taken their toll. His final words are prophetic. Follow Hitler. He will dance, but it is I who call the tune. Do not mourn for me. I shall have influenced history more than any German.
Here we have quintessential Eckart, and presents as himself as the kind of puppet master who had been the real person, the real architect of the new Germany that was to come.
Eckart's untimely death ends that first dramatic act in the Nazi movement, but the legacy is there.
Eckart is never going to know it, but in public at least, Hitler will always respect him, almost as a permanent member of the inner circle. He'll dedicate the first volume of Mein Kampf to Eckart and call him the spiritual father of National Socialism. Eckart may die, but his ideas don't die with him. And of course, they are carried forward by Hitler and his inner circle and will bring the world to near destruction.